Tough loss on Sunday for the Miami Dolphins against the Seattle Seahawks, and after 3 weeks, Miami's 1-2 and not in a good place with all these injuries and lack of offense. And this is a vent session here on a Monday morning. Overreaction Monday here at Dolphins Today. Let me know what you think the Dolphins' biggest problem is. I've got 3 things I want to discuss coming up on today's show. This is Dolphins Today by Chad Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Overreaction Monday after the horrific 24-3 loss in Seattle where Miami fell to 1-2. And there's a lot of things that I want to talk about in terms of the quarterback, the head coach, and really the outlook for the rest of the season. And we'll start with the quarterback discussion because the first rumor overreaction that we're going to have today is, should Miami start Tyler Huntley going forward while Tua Tagovailoa is out? Well, if you don't remember our rumor meter, 4 fins means it should happen. It's happening, baby. And that's what I have for Tyler Huntley. He should absolutely be the starter moving forward because when you watched Tim Boyle, you watched Skylar Thompson play last afternoon against the Seattle Seahawks, it was absolutely disgusting. And I have to watch back at the All 22 and see if it was a scheme problem, if wide receivers weren't open, they were getting blanketed by the talented secondary of Seattle that features Tyreek Hill, Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love, and others. Like, it is a good secondary, but the QB display that we had yesterday was an absolute embarrassment to the game of football. And who knows if Tua would have changed anything. I would like to think he would have, but these two yesterday were just simply not good. And the part that stands out to me the most is, well, when Skylar completed 13 passes for 107 yards, that's not very good, folks. The average there is horrible. It is so bad. And then when you think of the QBR is out of 1 to 100. They're both under 10. QB rating goes all the way up to 150. Like, these guys were terrible yesterday. And yes, Tim Boyle was just signed to the active roster on Saturday afternoon because they were going to make Tyler Huntley the inactive guy, emergency third quarterback. They didn't deem him ready. Well, by the time Monday Night Football rolls around next week against the Tennessee Titans, where the Dolphins are at home, Tyler Huntley should be up to speed. That's 2 weeks. I think Huntley could manage to be figuring out this offense and know what to run. Or if Mike McDaniel is this talented play caller we like to think he is, an offensive mind, he can tailor an offense around Tyler Huntley because watching Thompson, watching Tim Boyle try to run this offense, it was not good. It was horrible. And sure, you can blame some of the offensive line for that in their protection. Well, you know how you can make up for that bad offensive line protection? A mobile quarterback that can make pass rushers miss and scramble out and make things happen with their legs. Now, Skylar is a mobile enough quarterback to make things happen with his legs, but not anything close to Tyler Huntley. He gives you the best chance to win next week against the Tennessee Titans, and you need to win this game because we'll talk about the schedule at the end of today's video, but it is a very favorable next 3 or 4 games for Miami where they need to take advantage if they want to save the season and still potentially make the playoffs in January. Who should start, though? Because with Skylar Thompson, should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, he does have that chest injury where he left in the third quarter of this game. If he is not able to go, which is anticipated, at least in my opinion, where he's not going to be able to, who should start for Miami next Monday? Tyler Huntley type TH, I think it's Tim Boyle type TB. Let's move over to Mike McDaniel, because does he need to give up play calling? I posed that question on yesterday's post-game video, and I'm not going to say it's really a thing that should happen. I'm giving it 2 fins, which if you don't remember, 1 thing is small, short of tooth. 2 fins are people are talking. 3, it's likely. 4, it's happening. I'll give it 2 people are talking, and maybe it's just me that are talking, but this offense over the first 3 weeks of the season has been horrible. And I know he had unbelievable success over his first 2 seasons in Miami calling plays. But there's no denying how bad it's been through 3 weeks. And this is a not-so-fun fact for the Miami Dolphins, but they are actually the worst offense in the NFL through 3 weeks. They are averaging 11 points per game. That is lowest in the National Football League, including not scoring a touchdown over the past 7 quarters. Last time they scored a touchdown was in the first quarter of the Thursday Night Football game against the Buffalo Bills. It has been a train wreck for Mike McDaniel in this offense. in short yard situations, in early situations where they get put behind the chains. It's been horrible for this Miami Dolphins offense, and we're going to talk more about it coming up in just a second. Before we continue with Overreaction Monday, I do got to give a massive shout out to Mando. And even though the Dolphins have been bad, you don't want to smell bad, and Mando will make sure you are smelling clean this fall. And they have so many cool products, and the one that I like the most is this standard deodorant, but the Mount Fuji smell is just absolutely terrific. And I don't know what I was doing before I got Mando. Saw them on TV, had to give it a try, and now they're on board with us here at Dolphins Today. And I could not be more excited about that. And the reason why I like Mando as well is because they've got so many different products that allow you to make sure you are smelling the best. And the starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. Plus, it's got free shipping. I got one of the products in studio with me today, and it's the deodorant wipes. This is a really cool one because it allows me to make sure I'm still smelling good on the road. If I feel a little insecure, something like that, you know what? Deodorant wipes make sure I'm in a good spot. And there's a perfect deal out there for all the Dolphins fans who are looking to smell good. It's a starter pack. I'm telling you what. The discount code helps you get hooked up on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to 40% off your starter pack. Make sure you use that code. It's chat at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. That's code chat. Remember that. 40% off your starter pack. $5. Get yourself smelling right with Mando today. They're the absolute best. Appreciate Mando for sponsoring today's video. All right, as we get into some more about this Miami Dolphins offense, look at the company you are with right now. It's horrible. It's absolutely atrocious. You are last in the NFL in terms of your points per game. 11. You're behind New England. You're behind the Giants. You're behind the Titans. Like, this is absolutely a joke from Mike McDaniel and this crew. I don't want to talk about the Jags because, well, they've only played in 2 games, and maybe that number goes up. Maybe it goes down after their game later today against the Buffalo Bills. But I just can't believe, like, if I showed you this graphic 3 weeks through the season, you would think it was some joke. Worse than the Patriots? Are you serious right now? Like, and that was before coming into this week because the Patriots, they only scored 3 points on Thursday Night Football against the Jets. So it's like you already were scoring less points than them through the first 2 weeks of the season. Like, this offense has been terrible. And how about this statistic, by the way? This makes it even worse in perspective. The Dolphins are the only NFL team to not hold a lead in any second of one of their games through 3 weeks. You might be wondering, well, how's that possible? They have a win. They're 1-2. Well, the one win they had, it was a walk-off field goal as time expired. They have yet to lead a football game. How is that possible? Like, with a team that had the aspirations that Miami had today, this coming into the season, to have 11 points per game through 3 weeks and to not hold a lead, that is an absolute joke. It really is. And I don't care that Tua's been out for the past, 5-6 quarters. It was already struggling. They barely moved the ball against Jacksonville. They didn't have anything going against Buffalo before Tua left that game with his concussion. It's just been an overarching theme through the first 2-3 weeks, even with the starters. Bad offense, bad play calling, and it's a disappointment. We're going to have one last word on Mike McDaniel and company here in just a second, but I want to make sure you're subscribed because even though the Dolphins are 1-2 and things look a little grim right now, we are not going anywhere. We're still dropping daily videos, sometimes even 2 a day. So make sure you hit that sub button and join the channel because we're going to have you covered with everything surrounding the Dolphins. All right, final word on Coach McDaniel because we did pose the question if he should give up play calling. I don't think he has to give it up now, but it's certainly something on my radar. Obviously, him and offensive coordinator Frank Smith create the game plan. Mike McDaniel calls the plays on Sunday, but this has just been not acceptable. It hasn't. It's been unacceptable through 3 weeks of the season. I don't care who's at quarterback. And if you want to even blame the bad quarterback play with Tua being hurt, well, then let's have a conversation about Mike McDaniel not speaking up to Chris Greer, the GM, about getting a more certified backup. Being okay with rolling in Skylar Thompson. They made the decision. They were okay having Skylar Thompson as the backup quarterback in case Tua got hurt. So I don't feel any sympathy towards them in terms of how bad the offense has been. If you didn't think Skylar Thompson could operate this offense, go get a different quarterback. But they believed he could, and they were wrong in that assumption. All right, the final one that we're going to talk about today. The season is over. Is it over? I don't think so. I'm giving 1. So he is as pessimistic as I was talking about Mike McDaniel and the starting quarterback play of the Dolphins so far. I'm just saying small shred of truth with the season is over. They're 1-2 through 3 weeks. It's not where we want to be. But I do still have faith in this team because I just think they have a lot of talent. And maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe I have to start thinking this team doesn't have a lot of talent. But with Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, De'Von Achane, like Jalen Ramsey. We'll have more injury news on a video later today, so make sure you're on the lookout for that with Kendall Fuller and Teron Armstead, David Long Jr. But when you think of the next 5 weeks for the Miami Dolphins, you can't look at me with a straight face and say that the Dolphins couldn't really have a good stretch here. At home against the Titans on Monday Night Football. I don't care who they put at quarterback. They will be in that football game. The Titans are the worst football team through 3 weeks. They've scored more than Miami, but they're 0-3. They've got a solid defense, but they can't score the football. You're in New England in week 5. That team stinks. You have a bye. Then you're in Indianapolis. That team is not good. And then Tua is eligible to return in week 8 against the Arizona Cardinals off IR. And if you get back Tua for that home game against the Cardinals, I think you could win that game. Like, even as bad as it's been, there is a still really good chance, in my opinion, that Miami could go 4-0 in their next 4 games. Because you have a bye mixed in there, too. You get to regroup, game plan for Indianapolis, and get a little bit more healthy with Odell potentially coming back, Bradley Chubb in the mix. Like, I think this team could still go 4-0 over the next 4 games. The schedule after these next 4 games, that's when it gets brutal with Buffalo. You got Cleveland late in the year on the road, but they look bad. 49ers, they've struggled. The Rams, they've looked interesting with all their injuries. Like, your schedule gets tougher, but you also can take advantage and go 4-0 right now. Be 5-2 through your first 7. 2 is coming back, and you still have aspirations to make the playoffs just fine. I think it's possible. But let me know, what is the Dolphins' record in the next 4 games? I think it could be 4-0. I'll go 3-1, and the Dolphins have a 4-3 record. I think that's a pretty fair assumption to make there. They'll drop one maybe against Indianapolis or New England, but I think they can win this next game against Tennessee, and I think if Tua is back against the Cardinals, they'll win that one at home. All right, make sure you hit that sub button because, like I said, we're going to have you covered on everything starting the Miami Dolphins. Lock us in here because we're going to still drop daily content and be live for every Dolphins football game. So hit that sub button, and I'll see you tomorrow.